You may want to stock up now because the retail apocalypse is coming, and it's targeting one of the biggest stores in the game. That's right, this giant retail chain is on the brink of disappearing in 2023. With economic pressures mounting from all sides, from the pandemic to inflation and supply chain issues, this once thriving store is struggling to keep up. As the holiday season approaches, the company is making some difficult choices, including closing multiple locations in a desperate attempt to stay afloat. Companies such as Gap and CVS are making tough decisions, such as closing multiple locations to cut costs and survive the downturn. The first company on the list is Gap. Recently, controversies, including those surrounding rapper Kanye West, have impacted the clothing retailer's bottom line. Gap launched a new clothing line called Yeezy Gap, which briefly boosted sales. However, consumers are less interested in the apparel, as they consider it overpriced and plain compared to fast fashion or luxury brands. In response to this distressing environment, Gap announced that it would shutter 30 of its locations by 2023. With the goal of having a smaller and healthier fleet of stores. This decision means that 220 Gap stores will close their doors for good, with most of the stores being shifted out of malls. Gap president and CEO Mark Breitbart said, "We've been overly reliant on low productivity, high-end stores. We've used the past 6 months to address real estate issues and accelerate our shift to a true army model." It's not just clothing, homeware, and pharmaceutical retailers that are feeling the pinch of the current economic downturn. AT&T, the world's largest telecommunications company in terms of revenue, has also announced that it will be closing 250 stores and shedding 3,400 jobs in the process as it begins a reposition of its slumping business wireline segment during the increasingly pressured economic backdrop. In 2020, Pier Imports filed for bankruptcy and planned to close 450 stores. However, the pandemic, shipping crisis, and port congestion made it impossible to re-emerge from Chapter 11 protection in 2022. The company struggled to overcome these obstacles, which were exacerbated by slowing consumer spending. Unfortunately, Pier Imports has now announced the closure of its last 492 stores, bringing the total number of closures to 942 over the past couple of years. The company's plans to restructure and recover from bankruptcy have been derailed by a combination of unforeseen circumstances, leaving it with no other option but to shut down completely. This is a significant loss for both the company and its loyal customers, who will miss the unique home decor and furnishings that Pier Imports was known for. Sally Beauty Supply, the U.S.-based retail chain with over 4,500 stores and distribution centers, has announced plans to close 350 locations by the end of the year. The decision comes after the company reported a net sales drop of almost $20 million in the past quarter, which it attributes to the ongoing inflationary pressures and supply chain challenges that have impacted consumer behavior. The retail industry has been struggling to cope with the ongoing challenges of the pandemic, and Sally Beauty Supply is no exception. The closures are part of the company's strategy to streamline its operations and focus on its most profitable locations. While the closures are unfortunate for the affected employees, Sally Beauty Supply is committed to providing support and resources to help them transition to new roles. Despite the challenges, Sally Beauty Supply remains optimistic about the future and is continuing to invest in its online and digital platforms to provide customers with a seamless shopping experience. As the retail industry continues to adapt to the changing landscape, Sally Beauty Supply is taking proactive steps to ensure its long-term success. CVS, for example, has been suffering from similar issues as other drugstore chains, such as Walgreens and Rite Aid. The company is trying to reduce its brick-and-mortar footprint by 10%, bringing its total number of closures to 900. Many of its stores are stuck in the past, with bad lighting, depressing interiors, messy merchandising, and a weak assortment of products. The closures will enable the chain to invest in its remaining stores while boosting its rapidly expanding digital presence. Bath & Body Works is feeling the effects of changing consumer preferences and is struggling to keep up with sales. The parent company, L Brands, has announced the closure of 50 Bath & Body Works stores in the U.S. by the final quarter of 2022, as well as the slashing of 130 corporate jobs to reduce costs amid inflation and rising supply chain and transportation costs. The move comes as the retailer has seen a 37% decrease in sales at its physical locations, indicating a shift in consumer behavior towards online shopping. The closure of physical stores is a part of L Brand's restructuring efforts to adapt to these changing trends and to streamline operations to remain competitive. This move may allow Bath & Body Works to focus on their online presence and create a better omni-channel experience for their customers. Despite these challenges, Bath & Body Works remains a popular brand with a loyal customer base, and it will be interesting to see how they adapt to the changing retail landscape. L'Occitane, the well-known French beauty retailer, has been hit hard by a significant drop in-store sales during the busiest shopping season of 2021, with a 56.5% decline. This fall in sales was disappointing for investors, and as a result, the company's leadership team has introduced a new restructuring plan to emerge from Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection this year. As part of this strategy, L'Occitane is closing down 23 of its 166 stores in the United States, and it plans to reduce its brick-and-mortar presence further to 133 locations by 2023. Chipotle, the fast casual chain known for its burritos and bowls, is facing significant challenges in the current economy. Despite being a popular restaurant chain, the company is struggling with declining sales, major labor issues, and supply chain challenges. As a result, Chipotle has made the difficult decision to permanently close 65 of its restaurants, leaving many employees without jobs. According to Lori Shallow, the Chief Corporate Affairs Officer at Chipotle, the company is finding it hard to hire new staff members and managers to keep the doors open due to ongoing staffing challenges. This has resulted in a lack of probability for reopening the closed locations in the foreseeable future. The closure of these 65 Chipotle locations serves as a reminder of the ongoing difficulties that the restaurant industry is facing due to the pandemic. As customers continue to prioritize safety and convenience, restaurants are struggling to adapt to the new normal. It remains to be seen how the industry will evolve in the coming months, but it is clear that businesses will need to be agile and innovative to survive in these challenging times. Even the iconic McDonald's chain is not immune to the challenges of the ongoing economic downturn. The fast food giant has been quietly closing hundreds of low-volume locations due to increased costs and declining profits. Following the pandemic, the company had to implement new health and safety regulations, which led to higher expenses. Additionally, rising food prices have further impacted the bottom line. In fact, the Wall Street Journal reports that McDonald's is currently experiencing its lowest profits in 13 years. As a result, the company is taking a cautious approach by closing 200 outlets at Walmart that aren't generating enough traffic, leaving only 150 still in operation across the country. This move by McDonald's highlights the challenges that even the biggest brands are facing during these trying times. The ongoing economic turbulence is forcing many companies to make difficult decisions to reduce costs, including closing low-performing locations. As consumers and businesses continue to navigate this uncertain landscape, it remains to be seen what the future holds for these iconic brands and major retailers. As the retail apocalypse continues to develop in the coming months, we will keep track of these major shifts in the industry. Unfortunately, it seems that conditions aren't likely to get any better for consumers or businesses anytime soon. Even one of the world's richest men is telling the public to avoid unnecessary purchases and to stockpile cash to navigate through the turbulence that is approaching. This is not good news for our iconic brands, and not good news for major retailers either.